Hey everybody, it's Mark Yagi. Welcome to another weekly market pulse. Hope you're having a phenomenal week. It has been a fun week in the market. We are green, so I'm going to show you that in a second. I got a lot of stuff that I want to go over for you today, so buckle up, maybe grab a pen and pencil. There's some interesting things going on in the market, basically just from a reading the market standpoint. Today we just had an announcement that the Supreme Court struck down the tariffs. The market freaked out for a few minutes, and it's recovered. Been interesting. Everybody thought the market was going to tank if the Supreme Court tanked the tariffs because how are we going to pay those back? Well, we know how they're going to pay them back. They're going to print money. What does that do for stocks and metals and hard assets and real estate? It raises it, right? It raises the price, not the value, but the price. And so you're going to see a lot of that happening. I approach everything from follow the money, and when you follow the money, you start to get a clear perspective. By the way, we now have on sale, we're now making the announcement, we have an event coming in Phoenix, Arizona, just Chandler's just outside of Phoenix, April 17th through the 19th. It's a strategy room, basically. It's a smaller, intimate one of my events. It looks at a beautiful hotel out there in Arizona, and there's some good golf, and if you want to come early or stay late, there's lots of fun stuff to do in Arizona. It is in April, so it's a beautiful time of year out there. So I hope you can make it. If you can make it, there's a link at the bottom to join us at that event. Love to have you there. We're going to learn lots of stuff. We're going to do lots of fun chart reading, talk about income strategies, things like that. So anyway, I won't make too much of a commercial about it. The market last week, this is the chart from last week, and you could see how long this has lasted. Since the end of November, beginning of December, the market has been green. That's like, what, 3 months? Which is really a long time for the market to continue to melt up. But, a lot of people back in here were like, well, yeah, but it can't go up forever. And then it went up higher than that. And people were like, well, it can't go up forever. And it went up higher than that. People are like, well, it can't go. At some point, you have to say the market is in an uptrend and you can't pick the tops any more than you can pick the bottoms, right? So the market is melting up. Why is it melting up? We'll follow the money. The Fed is printing money. You guys don't see it, but it's happening. And when they're going to make the effective announcement, it's probably going to be too late. But the markets are already seeing more money sloshing around, and that's why you're seeing this market melt up. So when money gets printed by the Fed, that means that there's more discretionary money to invest in things, and that's why stocks go higher. Now, there's some other reasons the stocks are going higher if you're in the right sector, like AI, for example, but that's going to end at some point. But anyway, there's 4 green lights here as well. So you can see this market continues to go up. This is this week's chart. All right, why? Well, this is not going to tell you why. This is the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ is below the 50-day moving average, and it's just having trouble staying up there, right? So even the Apples and the Googles and the Microsofts and some of these big NASDAQ companies are just having trouble getting out of their own way, and that's dragging down the index. Other companies in the index are doing well, but not well enough to make that NASDAQ go up. But the other ones get progressively better. The S&P 500, right at the 50-day moving average, doing great. The Dow Jones, way above the 50-day moving average, still off an all-time high from last week, but doing great. The New York Stock Exchange, way up above the 50-day moving average and looking very strong, and that's a very broad index, doing great. The volatility index is the panic index, so the higher this goes, the more panic. We got an elevated level up from 13 to 24, 25 last week, but now we're back down to under 18, around 18. So things are calming down in the markets. That means money comes off the sidelines and goes into the markets. Nvidia's got earnings next week. Please be careful. Don't be exposed at earnings. That's the one day every quarter that you can prevent catastrophic losses. So, even the best company in the world can report crappy numbers, then you're in real serious trouble. They could report great numbers too, but we don't want to take chances. That's why we do covered calls pretty deep in the money going into earnings because that will save your butt if the stock goes down. And I don't want to see any of y'all lose money. All right. Apple is doing a little cup with a handle. The top of the handle is 280, so that's the breakout point. But Apple needs to get above the 50-day moving average for it to get any love. Tesla, same kind of thing. Tesla's really just kind of hanging out between the 50 and the 200, right in here. Not a lot of compelling reasons to buy it, not a lot of reasons to sell it. Basically, it is in a short-term downtrend if you want to look at it like that. But it's it's kind of doing what Tesla's doing. It needs some reporting love. It needs some, hey, we're making money, we're selling cars, we're selling robots, we're doing something. Right now, everybody's kind of, let's see what Tesla does. So that's what's going on there. Broadcom, same, almost like the same chart, but a totally different industry. This is in the semiconductor fabrication business, and they're down below the 50-day moving average. Hard to imagine that these semiconductor companies that are in such demand are down below the moving averages, but they are. Maybe that's giving us a chance to look at them and take a serious look and maybe get them cheap. Who knows? AMD doing the same thing. Gap down on earnings, and now it's below the 50-day moving average. Hard to buy anything at below the 50-day moving average because those are the ones that don't perform statistically. Micron way above the 50, looking like it's making a nice little consolidation pattern up here at the top. I don't know. There was a sell-off a couple weeks ago here in the semis and the RAMs and the storage, but it seems to be pretty resilient with a 99 relative strength. Look at SanDisk, same thing. Looks like the same exact pattern, but if you look at it on a weekly, you can see it kind of jumbling up here at the top, making these little railroad track patterns, which generally, and I don't think it's the case in this one, it generally means that we might have a pull down on stocks or on the stock. Now, let's say Nvidia does have a lousy report or doesn't make what everybody's expecting them to make or whatever. You could see all of these companies come down, and the ones that have been elevated like this with this kind of an angle, like a 60-degree angle going almost straight up, these are the ones that are very prone to backing down. And if they come back down on volume, they could go back to the next support level. The next support level looks like about 280 here on SanDisk. So be careful with this one, but boy, what a beautiful chart if you could have been in this one. Western Digital, number one performing stock last year, and you could see why, and it continues to go up and make new highs. Really good stuff on Western Digital. Palantir, on the other hand, has been one of those stocks that's really just breaking down. It's about to make a death cross here. 50-day coming down through the 200. Tough ride on Palantir now, and I think there's more pain to the downside. It's got this 178 that it's testing right now, and if it can't hold this, it's going to go to, that's 128. It's going to go to 118. I mean, I don't know if it's going to go, but boy, it is really weak, and that puts this $66 into play, so be careful on Palantir. Robinhood, not everything is great in Sherwood Forest these days. Stock has dropped from 153 down to below 80. It's at 75, 76 right now. Death cross going on there. A gap down on, not that much energy, but we had a gap down and 4 days of follow through to the downside. And this just keeps wanting to go lower. I don't see a swing point in here until it gets down to about 30 bucks. So to me, that's unfortunately where I think it could go. What do I know, though? I just read charts. SoFi is another thing. It's getting ready to make a death cross, here in a couple weeks. And, just this business is falling out of favor a bit, the finance business. So because I guess we're going into a recession or whatever they say, but it doesn't really matter. This is to the downside. Okay, Hims and Hers, I think they're having fundamental problems with their business, getting sued by Novo Nordisk because they copied their formula, whatever. This company has, been in a lot of fundamental trouble, and you can see it in the technical chart. And it's got a relative strength rating of 3, and it's going to be a while before it gets anybody's confidence back. This one could sit down here for months, maybe even years before it rebounds, if it doesn't go out of business. And with these kind of numbers, you're probably not going to see a company that goes out of business, but they're in a little bit of trouble. Be careful if you're in this one. Rivian is making an ABCD down pattern. It popped up really nicely going up here, but if you looked at the weekly chart on this, it is just astounding at how bad this chart looks. But it made a pop to 22.69, and it's done nothing but sell off all the way under the 200-day moving average. So it went down to like 13 something, bounced up to 18 something, and I think the next move, if it breaks down below this 200-day moving average, is to the $8.25 level based on my ABCD analysis. Top industry groups right now are basically mining, computers, and semiconductors. And I'll show you what it looks like. 32 to 38% of a stock's performance comes from the performance of its industry group and sector. And so I look at this and go, I want to be in these sectors. Why? That's why. This is the top fiber optic sector, top one in the business. And you can see it's gone up from 245 to 1200. Now, if you're in the top relative strength stock in that sector. It's called Lumentum. And you went from the $80 level to the $600 level just because you're in the right sector. Now it's vice versa, right? Did the sector go up because the best stock went up this much, or was it the sector dragged everything up? Well, I think it's both. They kind of work together, but this has got an amazing relative strength, and you've got to know your industries whenever you're looking at buying stocks, guys. You can't just buy them and because you heard somebody on CNBC say it was a good idea. Now let's look at the bottom industry groups. The worst industry group is commercial services in healthcare. The healthcare stocks are not doing well. And then all the software stocks are threatened by AI. So you're going to see 4 or 5 different software stocks in the worst industries. And then if you let's take a look at the worst industry, the number 196th ranked industry. Okay. Look at that. That's horrible, right? From 1,000 down to 500, 50% drop. And really lately it's dropping, right? United Healthcare and all these other companies are just having a lot of trouble making ends meet because they're not getting free government money anymore. Anymore. So they're going down. Now look at this. This is the best stock in the worst sector. Look at this. Relative strength rating of 6. So it's gone from, $120 all the way down to what looks like $30, something like that. $48 today. That's the power of being in the right industry or the wrong industry. It can really mess you up. This is the worst stock in the worst sector, and I can't even read this thing. It's like it gone from 400,000 down to 4 or something, whatever. I don't even think this will be around next year. Don't ask me to pull up a chart on this in a year. I don't think it'll be around. Okay, that's it for me. Enough talking. Boy, I talk a lot sometimes. Sorry about that. But anyway, hope you guys get an idea. Listen, the reason I spend so much time reading charts, and I just want people to know, I want you to know because you're tuning in, that reading charts is important because knowing where the support, resistance, the patterns are allows your brain to kind of get more comfortable in the future. And so I spend a lot of time, and it's not one chart that I look at, right? How many charts do we look at? 25, 30? It's because, when you look at your phone, right? You got your phone, which is see-through right now or whatever, but you got your phone, and that picture on the front is made up of all these pixels. It's not one dot that's painting the picture, it's all the dots. So when we read the market, you get an idea that the market's moving halfway sideways to higher, right? It's not shooting up, but it's kind of sideways to higher. The stocks that I looked at in the beginning are moving, the ones that we like are generally moving pretty well. There are some stocks that are breaking down and you don't want to be in those. So the whole idea is that we're painting a picture and your brain is taking it all in, whether you realize it or not. Anyway, listen, thank you so much for being here. If you want to join us, I would love to have you. We're having a smaller group and the seats are already about halfway sold out. We still have an early bird special going on because we just launched it and a few people have taken advantage of it, but that's going to be over pretty soon. But I'd love to have you there. Love to meet you if I haven't met you. And if I've met you before at any one of our other events, then I look forward to seeing you again. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to learn a lot of stuff. You're going to meet some cool people. The link is at the bottom for the event, so click on that and figure it out, and I hope to see you there. Have an awesome weekend. The market's green. Treat it as such, and I'll see you next week on the Market Pulse. Take care.